Chapter 12. A Coda. How Religions End. It can be equally useful and instructive to take a glimpse at the closing of religions or religious movements. The Millerites, for example, are no more, and we shall not hear again, in any but the most vestigial and nostalgic way, of Pan or Osiris or any of the thousands of gods who once held people in utter thrall. But I have to confess to a slight sympathy that I have tried and failed to repress for Sabbatai Zevi, the most imposing of the false messiahs. In the mid-17th century, he galvanized whole Jewish communities across the Mediterranean and the Levant, and as far afield as Poland, Hamburg, and even Amsterdam, repudiator of Spinoza, with his claim to be the chosen one who would lead the exiles back to the Holy Land and begin the era of universal peace. His key to revelation was the study of the Kabbalah, more recently revived in fashion by a showbiz woman bizarrely known as Madonna, and his arrival was greeted by hysterical Jewish congregations from his home base in Smyrna to Salonika, Constantinople, and Aleppo. The rabbis of Jerusalem, having been inconvenienced by premature messianic claims before, were more skeptical. By the use of Kabbalistic conjury that made his own name the equivalent of Moshek, or Messiah, when unscrambled from a Hebrew anagram, he may have persuaded himself, and certainly persuaded others, that he was the expected one. As one of his disciples phrased it, the prophet Nathan prophesied, and Sabbatai Zevi preached, that whoever did not mend his ways would not behold the comforting of Zion and Jerusalem, and that they would be condemned to shame and to everlasting contempt. And there was a repentance, the like of which has never been seen, since the world was created, and unto this day. This was no crude Millerite panic. Scholars and learned men debated the question passionately and in writing, and as a consequence we have a very good record of events. All the elements of a true and a false prophecy were present. Sabbatai's devotees pointed to his equivalent of John the Baptist, a charismatic rabbi called Nathan of Gaza. Sabbatai's enemies described him as an epileptic and a heretic, and accused him of violating the law. They in turn were stoned by Sabbatai's partisans. Convocations and congregations raged together and raged against each other. On a voyage to announce himself in Constantinople, Sabbatai's ship was storm-tossed, yet he rebuked the waters, and when incarcerated by the Turks, his prison was illuminated with holy fires and sweet scents, or not, according to many discrepant accounts. Echoing a very harsh Christian dispute, the supporters of Rabbi Nathan and Sabbatai maintained that without faith, knowledge of the Torah and the performance of good works would be unavailing. Their opponents asserted that the Torah and good works were the main thing. So complete in every respect was the drama that even the stubbornly anti-Sabbatai rabbis in Jerusalem at one point asked to be told if any verifiable miracles or signs had been attached to the claimant who was intoxicating the Jews with joy. Men and women sold all that they had and prepared to follow him to the promised land. The Ottoman imperial authorities had a good deal of experience in dealing with civil unrest among confessional minorities at the time. They were just in the process of wresting Crete from the Venetians, and behaved with much more circumspection than the Romans are supposed to have done. They understood that if Sabbatai was to claim kingdom over all kings, let alone to claim a large tract of their province in Palestine, then he was a secular challenger as well as a religious one. But when he arrived in Constantinople, all they did was lock him up. The ulema, or Muslim religious authority, was likewise sagacious. They counselled against the execution of this turbulent subject, lest his enthused believers make a new religion. The script was almost complete when a former disciple of Sabbatai,